When I look at the greatest fighter of all time, I think I really focus on three fighters: Habib, John Jones, and Kamaru. And I don't want to say disqualified John Jones, but John's had periods of inactivity because he had outside the ring trouble. And when you're grading at this highest level, right, those little things have to factor in. So to my way of thinking, it's got to either be Kamaru or Habib. What is it to your way of thinking? I mean, do you feel like, despite all John's troubles, that he still deserves that?
Well, I think what's fascinating about John Jones is what he's done, even though that trouble was going. You think about what he was doing during the time that he was doing it. It's insane what that guy accomplished.
Yeah, no
and
doubt.
What's going to be fascinating, huh?
I said, no doubt.
Yeah. And, it's going to, when he comes back, potentially as a heavyweight, and he does, I mean, it's just, if you look at the time when John, it's always hard because you have to put everybody in in the time slot. If you look at the guys at the 205 division, at the time that he was dominating, the guys that he was beating and the way that he was beating them was unbelievable. And one thing that's fascinating too, this came up the other day, that Alexander Gustafsson really hasn't been the same since his fights with John Jones. It's just, John Jones is for all the headaches and everything outside of the octagon, it's pretty impressive what he's accomplished. But Kamaru Usman is the pound for pound best fighter in the world right now. And I look at him the same way that I look at John Jones. You look at the guys he's beat, how he beat them, and now he's beating them all twice.
Right. That's amazing. The Leon Edwards fight, the first time that they fought, Usman used a very wrestling heavy approach in that. He did have some striking in there, but certainly I think his striking was just kind of starting to develop at that point. So how do you see the fight changing now that we know that, Usman is a quality striker? That's Edwards' thing. Edwards is a striker. Usman now has developed knocked out Masvidal, had a lot of wins over other fighters who were strikers. How do you think that changed the dynamic of the rematch?
Yeah, well, I think that's the other thing that's fascinating about Kamaru Usman. He started off as a straight wrestler. His game is completely well-rounded now. And the other thing about when you beat guys twice, you face Kamaru Usman and you weren't ready for something. The second time, you were able to go back and get ready for, the holes in your game and the mistakes you thought you made, and you still couldn't beat him.
Yeah,
that's something.